reporting there. Coming up, Paula Abdul's battle with bulimia.
You're watching Sky News.
Hello again. It's one of those illnesses many of us don't like talking about, but across the world, thousands of people suffer from bulimia, the serious eating disorder. America was shocked to hear that one of the country's most famous and likable show business figures, Paula Abdul, had been fighting a lengthy battle against the illness. Here she tells Nancy Collins how it almost wrecked her career.
Me and my body have been on two separate sides. We've never, until recently, been on the same side.
You would have never known watching that body, that dazzling instrument. Paula Abdul's hip-hop moves changed the face of dance in the 80s.
One and two and three and four.
At 5'2", she defied the laws of gravity, choreographing the steps that defined a generation, the MTV generation. In 1988, she put those steps to her music, released an album, and became an overnight superstar. Forever Your Girl had 4 #1 hits, and at the time, that made history, didn't it?
Yeah, I was the first debut artist female artist to achieve 4 #1 singles off her debut album. It was incredible.
But before she did it for herself, she did it for others. As a choreographer, her routines changed the Laker girls from cheerleaders into performers. She helped Janet Jackson develop her signature style. And along the way, Paula Abdul collected a Grammy, 2 Emmys, and a dozen other music awards.
You know, my career just took off, and I was constantly running to play catch-up. I learned that if you neglect your career for 1 minute, I mean, it's going without you, and either you better catch up or say goodbye.
Paula kept up with her career, but at a price. Her public image was as sexy as it was sleek. Privately, however, the mirror reflected the shadows of a problem that would overtake her life. Let's talk a little bit about how you felt about your body over the years. I'm sure you've probably been more critical than any person on earth.
Yeah, I learned at a very early age that I didn't fit in physically. I learned through years of rejection from auditions. I'd go in, I'd get cut before I could even dance. And
how did you feel about it?
You leave feeling like, why can't I be tall and skinny like the other dancers? Why can't I be blonde? Why can't I have legs, you know, from here down? All the questions, you know, all the questions of why. I was crushed. I felt like there's something wrong with me. I must be really ugly.
How much did you weigh? You were 5'2" and weighed what?
I was always between 105 and 110 pounds.
Oh, that's nothing.
But it wasn't skinny. And
being skinny was all that mattered growing up in Los Angeles. Paula was the youngest of 2 daughters. Her father was a cattle broker, her mother a classical pianist. How did your mother feel about her body and her weight?
Well, honestly, she always thought she was fat. My mom is a very thin lady. She's got a beautiful body. She was always very much concerned about her weight. And I think maybe when subconsciously that all seeped into my sister and I.
Paula traces her own self-esteem problems back to early in her childhood. She vividly recalls the pain brought on by her parents' divorce at age 7.
It was confusing for me. It was really confusing. It was a very tough time, and I always felt like I had to, you know, try to make things okay. I mean, I think that's where I grew to be an overachiever and very much a perfectionistic child, you know, and wanting to make everything perfect.
Starting with herself. In high school, Paula was class president, honor student, and head cheerleader. She was everything but tall enough and thin enough. When do you think the concern about your weight, as every dancer has, truly, went from being a concern to being obsessive?
For me, I think it started becoming more obsessive when I hit my mid-teens, like 15.
What happened then?
I learned from a group of girls, a lot of them who could eat huge amounts of food, and I'd say, God, it's just not fair. You know, I have to watch what I eat, and I don't eat 1/4 of what they eat, and it seems like it's, you know, it's always a work for me to maintain my weight. They taught me what they do.
What Paula learned from those girls was how to quickly eat large amounts of food and just as quickly get rid of it. The clinical term is purging, making yourself vomit so as not to gain weight. That pattern would continue for the next 17 years.
It's not a pretty sight when you're in the act of purging. It's like, I mean, anyone who knows what having the flu and having uncontrollable vomiting spells, it's violent. It's a violent thing. It's a real violent punishment that you put on yourself. Mm-hmm. And, you know, at the same time, it's such a euphoric feeling, getting that release of hurt and pain and stuff.
And control.
And a sense of control. But let me tell you, it's clearly out of control.
And you literally have to vomit after every meal, right? After every intake?
Well, no, I wasn't one that vomited after every meal. I had my ways of rationalizing when it was the appropriate time and when it wasn't.
So you would eat some meals where you didn't?
And I'd keep it down. And then some meals I would set myself up and be, plan out my binge. I'd allow myself, it was like sometimes where I would allow myself to do that because I was having a bad day or I couldn't express myself emotionally the way I wanted to and I'm embarrassed by it or I'm frustrated and I feel stupid about it. And any feeling that I had, first it was always like sad or negative feelings. But then when you get into the habit of doing it, it happens with happy feelings.
And Paula had much to be happy about in her professional life. Her second album, Spellbound, had gone platinum. And in 1990, her innovative Diet Coke ads hit the airwaves, broadening her appeal even more. Yet she was still haunted by her distorted self-image. Were you able to quit it all, the habit?
Oh, I'd have periods of months at a time where I wouldn't do it, and I thought that, you know, this is great, I'm cured. Just, you know, I feel good about myself. But the second you take it for granted, it comes right back.
Throughout her career, Paula had managed to keep her struggle with bulimia a secret from her many fans. Then, in 1992, the tabloids made the news public, with front-page reports of her eating disorder. But the rumors quickly died down, and outwardly her life seemed more glamorous and romantic than ever, particularly when she met and married actor Emilio Estevez.
You know, we did the mistake that people make. We didn't know each other long enough, and it was like, quick, you know, what's the next step? Oh, will you marry me? And yes, I'll marry you. And
now, did you tell Emilio about your problems with bulimia before you got married?
Oh, yeah. I'm a firm believer of getting everything out on the table. And the thing that was hard is that I wore my heart on my sleeve and was very open about sharing about everything.
When their marriage ended less than 2 years later, Paula was devastated. She had just come off a world concert tour. Sad and exhausted, her battle with bulimia, while never silent, became unmanageable. Finally, last August, she decided to seek help at the Laureate Psychiatric Clinic in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She told no one.
I walked into this room and really got a sense of reality of like being with real anorexic girls, being with real other bulimics, and I just broke down into tears. In front of all these people in the circle, I said, I'm scared as hell to be here. I'm really scared. And it didn't make me cry because I was scared.
Were you scared it wouldn't work, Paula?
I was scared to, you know, I've always been a role model. Not trying to be, but just was for have been for a lot of women and younger girls. And I thought, God, I'm not perfect. I'm going to disappoint people. And it's silly, but that's what I thought.
Paula spent a month at the clinic undergoing intensive therapy. She now feels she has the proper tools to deal with her bulimia. How do you feel about your body now?
I feel pretty good. Sometimes I get scared to say that I'm at peace with my body because I've always said, you know, I'm just saying that to get through.
Paula returned to Los Angeles to finish work on her third album, Head Over Heels. And of course, there's a new music video. Paula Abdul is back with a new style, a new body, and a new attitude.
A lot of things have happened in the past 2 years. You know, I walked around with a lot of shame and maybe didn't hold my head up as high as I should. And when I walked out of that clinic, I walked out without shame and I walked with my head held high. And I think it's just a big relief.
Nancy Collins of ABC's Primetime Live program reporting there. That's all for this edition of